Alright guys, how you doing? I hope everyone's doing okay. This is just a quick video, just to explain the reason for me starting this particular channel here, Rai 76 Basses. Now for some of you, you'll already know this. I've, over the years, learned how to sort of repair bass guitars, and bass is an instrument I've really liked, but not just because of how it sounds, and it sounds amazing, but it's also an instrument I really genuinely like. I appreciate a bass guitar. So over the years, I learned how to build them. I started by restoring them, and then eventually it turned into a build project. So far, I've done some basses, and Rai Basses, or Rai Bass, is the brand that I've given to the basses that I build. So it's still a work in progress. I'm still learning, but we all have to start somewhere before we get somewhere. So yeah, if you see me very soon on this channel, I'll be advertising some of the basses that are built. I'm not sure I'll sell any. I did sell one, and I severely regretted it. So I don't know if I'll ever sell another bass, but we'll see. I mean, you put in months and months of work. It can take up to a year just to build the perfect bass, and yeah, selling them, it really hurt. I felt like I'd lost something, a piece of me. But anyway, uh, the main purpose of this channel is not just to discuss all things bass, but I'll also be doing several tutorials as well. So tutorials on things I've learned along the way. Doing YouTube channels is relatively new to me, so I'm learning along the way. Cameras. I've done some videos where I thought I'd transitioned, from one camera to another, and one camera is still facing me, and I think I'm talking to a different camera. But it's little things that we learn along the way, and I'll still post some of these videos, even though there's mistakes in them, because I'd like to look back one day and think that's where I started. This is where it all began. So that's the purpose of this channel. I just want to share everything that I know bass-wise with you guys. And one of the things I will throw in now very quickly, as a musician, different to many other musicians, I appreciate, and hear me when I say this, I appreciate that it takes a lot for you to become a qualified musician, particularly in the gospel scene, where you get called up and you get asked to play on the spot, and you need to know what you're doing, and you have to be able to sort of move and change as things change. You play for different people who go up there and sing. They've got different styles. It's really tough work, and a lot of people, the vast majority of qualified musicians, I'll use that term, have invested a lot, not just in time, money-wise. They've bought DVDs. They've traveled the country to go meet, that person who they wanted to learn from. So it's very important that we don't neglect that. But it is also very difficult for that musician to then freely offer you, because one thing we realize once you get somewhere is, I could have gotten here a lot more quicker. It could have been a lot more easier. But it was tough. And one thing we realize after we've learned is, if I'd only know. But you've already spent the money, you've already invested the time. It's very hard for you to then just freely give that over to somebody else. This much I can appreciate. So what I'll say to you is this: I'm not that kind of musician. I have spent money, I've invested a lot, but I'm willing to share, and I'm willing to tell you some of the things other musicians wouldn't. So you will find that you'll be able to do two things. You'll, number one, be able to quickly suss out the kind of musician I am. So when I'm playing live or whatever, you'll just be able to break down, this is how he's going to do it. We already know what he's made of. The second thing you'll be able to do is, you'll be able to get from where you are to where I am, and pass me, potentially, a lot more quicker. Meaning I stay behind even though I'm the one who's invested. I don't mind this. I do, but I don't. It hurts, but I guess I'd much rather prefer a situation where you can look at me and not credit me as good enough because you now know what I do, but you get better than quicker. You get better quicker than you go through the pains and the struggles that some of us had to go through. And that's why we climb up and we close up with our information. But the other hope is that because you got it, and you know, I'm a Christian musician, the Bible says freely you receive, freely you receive, so you know, give freely. I'm hoping that you guys won't learn all this stuff and then, you know, go and act like the superstar out there, teach somebody else for free, and teach them everything that you know, even some of the stuff that you had to invest in, and keep the cycle going, because overall the standard will rise, you know, it will improve. And with high standards, I mean, people will be doing things that you'll be thinking, oh, what was that, what was that, what was that, what was that? But there's only 5 or 6 people who are really killing it. You know, nobody else grows. The rest of the industry remains stagnant. And yeah, but I'll stop talking about that. That's the purpose of this channel. Like, subscribe. There is more content coming your way. Peace.